Hey everyone, I'm Yeva and welcome. This is a mini Vinyasa flow, perfect for when you don't have a ton of time for your practice. Please remember that it doesn't matter if you take a few breaths in child's pose or a full hour of practice, any amount of yoga is better than nothing, and even a small amount can really drastically change how you feel energetically, help you feel a little more centered, grounded, connected. So anything's better than nothing. Hopefully this will allow you to fit in your practice a little more regularly and consistently, knowing you can just put in these little mini flows wherever it fits in your day. So let's come on down, hands and knees to start. We'll dive right into a few rounds of cat and cow. So belly drops down, shoulders hug back. Take a big inhale breath. And then rounding your spine on your exhale, really empty out your lungs. 2 more times, breathing in, really supple spine, breathing out. Press every bit of breath out of your lungs. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Tuck your toes, come back to a neutral spine. Downward dog, nice firm hands, spread out your fingers, strong arms, so start to wake up that nice support of your arms. Let your heels go heavy, let your head drop, and maybe sway your hips a tiny bit from side to side. Shift your focus inwards. Consciously shift your attention towards your breath, your body, your internal landscape. Take an inhale breath and a steady exhale breath. Now walking your feet or hopping your feet if you'd like up to the top of your mat. Forward fold, feet hip width apart and parallel. Bend your knees as much as you need to, as much as you'd like, and let your head hang. Inhale for halfway lift. Gather your shoulders back. Come on up to your fingertips. Exhale, forward fold, and feel free to take a very soft little hug with your hands on the backs of your calves, your ankles, to help you come into that forward fold. Again, halfway lift, extend the spine even a little bit longer. Forward fold, exhale, lengthening that entire back line of your body. Now inhale, rise to stand. Take a big sweep of your arms wide and high, big open chest. Hands pull to center of your sternum, heart center, exhale. Breathing in, steady and deep, arms rise. Forward fold, exhale, breath. Halfway lift, breathe in. And step right foot back, lower your knee to the ground, and breathe out. Rise up to crescent lunge, inhale, breath. Pulse your arms back by your sides, belly and chest flow forwards, exhale. Arms rise again, breathe into that crescent lunge. Grab a hold of right wrist with your left hand, and then take a side stretch, pull up and over to the left. Pause there to inhale, and pause there to exhale. Return through center, breathing in. Downward facing dog. Place your hands and step on back. Find plank pose, shoulders over wrists. Feel free to bring your knees to the ground if you want supported plank. Inhale, lowering all the way to your belly through your chaturanga. Exhale. Hands interlace behind your pelvis. Pull your shoulders back and really shrug open through your chest. Puff open through your chest. Lengthen and lift legs as well if you'd like to. So in our locust pose, waking up muscles in the back line of the body. Inhale, breath. And then soften down with your exhale breath, hands by your low ribs. Tuck your toes and press up through hands and knees. Back to downward dog. Right leg rises, breathing in. And step forwards between your hands and breathe out. 10 left fingertips, open your right arm to the ceiling, low twisted lunge. Take an inhale, hug your right shoulder back. And then exhale, right hand comes back to the ground. Lengthen your front leg, your right leg, and bow your forehead in towards your right shin. Inhale, right knee bends. Rise up to high lunge. Send your fingertips high to the ceiling. Easy shoulders. Power up that back leg, that back thigh. Inhale, maybe a tiny tip of your chest open towards the ceiling. And then exhale, forward fold, top of your mat. Rise to stand. Breathe in. Chair pose and breathe out. Bend your knees and sink back and down through the hips. Inhale, breath. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Again, breathing in. And sink a little deeper, breathe out. Interlace the hands behind your pelvis. Inhale, little hug of the shoulders back. And then exhale, dive down, forward fold. Gently tug your hands away from the back of your pelvis. Fingertips release to the mat. Half lift, inhale. Left foot steps back, lower your knee, exhale. To crescent lunge, big, easy, full breath in. And then pulse back with your exhale, belly and chest forwards. To crescent lunge, breathe in. Catch left wrist with right hand and then go for that side stretch, up and over to the right. Inhale, nice and deep. And keep lengthening over to the side, exhale. Back up through center, breathe in to your downward dog and breathe out. Cycling through that vinyasa, moving to plank pose. Inhale, steady and strong arms. Chaturanga, you can lower half or all the way to the ground on your exhale. Pull open to cobra or upward dog. Stretch your legs back behind you. Open up, puff open through chest. Downward dog. Use your exhale to pull your hips up and back. Left leg sweeps high. Inhale. Step left foot forwards between hands. Exhale. Tent your right fingertips to the mat. Open up the left arm to that low twisted lunge. Breathe in, find a nice rotation through the spine. And breathe out, left hand comes down. Lengthen your front leg, bow inwards. Inhale, left knee bends, we're rising to high lunge. Back leg stays nice and powered up, nice and straight. Fingertips to the ceiling. Inhale, take a little tip of your chest open towards the sky. A little lift of your face, your gaze. Forward fold, top of your mat. Breathe out. Rising to stand with your inhale. Fill up your lungs. Sweep tall. Chair pose again. Exhale, breath. Now stay here. Breathe in, lengthen the arms. Exhale again, sink a little bit further back and down. Again, inhale. Sink a little bit more with your exhale. Hands interlace behind you. Pull the shoulders back, breathe in, and then take it down to that forward fold. Hands pulling away from your pelvis. Fingertips to mat, half lift. Heel toe your feet out wide, yogi squat. So turning the toes slightly out and the heels slightly in. Soften down through the hips, the pelvis. Nice and easy through your shoulders, long through your spine. Pause and breathe. Easy breath. One more inhale. Exhale, hands to the mat. Let's step back to plank pose. Inhale, breath. Chaturanga, your variation, lowering half or all the way down. Exhale. Open up. Find that little back bend. Cobra or upward dog. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Send your right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Pull your right knee to your forehead on your exhale. Find a little lift of your belly, a little lift of your hips, shoulders over the wrists. Back to three-legged dog, inhale. Right knee to upper right arm, exhale. Dancing dog, flowing through. Three-legged dog again, inhale. Pull over to your upper left arm on that exhale. And then last time back to three-legged dog. Bend your right knee and stack your right hip open. Pause right here. If you want to flip it around into a wild thing pose or stargazer, you can. Or just stay here for another slow, steady round of breath. Pressing that right knee and your right shin high to the ceiling. If you came around to wild thing, then start to shift back to that three-legged dog, and we'll all pull our right shin forwards for pigeon pose at the top of our mat. So right shin forwards, come on up to your fingertips and kind of just scooch your back foot behind you a little bit in order to sink down through your hips. Fingertips tented to the ground. Take a little hug of your shoulders back and a nice puff open through the chest. Relax your jaw, your forehead. And then when you're ready, crawl forwards and down to release to the floor. Forehead rests to your hands or to the mat. Easy shoulders, relaxed jaw, heavy hips, and soft belly. 1 or 2 more rounds of breath here into this pigeon stretch. Really even and steady through your inhale and your exhale. And then let's rise on up to the hands. Shift your weight into that right hip and we'll swing the left leg around. Seated twist, sorry. Left foot to the outside of your right thigh and then drop down through both sitting bones. So you've got both sides of your pelvis nice and equal onto the ground. Now you're sitting up nice and tall. Left hand tense behind you. Right arm can wrap around your shin or hook to the outside of your thigh. And then find that nice length, that extension up through the crown of your head. Breathe in, and with your exhale, take a soft spiral around into that twist. Hugging that left shoulder, your back shoulder, around behind you. Again, 1 or 2 more rounds of breath, focusing on inhale, extend, exhale, soft little spiral. Good, then return back through center. Release your legs, place your feet flat to the ground. Dig your heels really firmly into the ground, hands to prayer. Inhale, draw your shoulders back. Exhale, sink back about halfway. Keep your chest nice and broad, not collapsed in. And take your low belly and scoop it back to low spine. Keep digging the heels a lot into the ground. Take an inhale breath. And then exhale, rotate over to the right, little touch of right elbow to the ground. And then center, breathe in, and to the left, breathe out. We'll do that 2 more times. Center, inhale, nice rotation to the right, exhale. Through center, dig the heels into the ground. To the left, exhale. 1 more time, center, breathe in, right, breathe out. Center, and to the left, exhale. Good, back to center, breathe in. And then rise back up on your exhale. Bend your knees, cross your ankles, squeeze your knees in nice and tight. Hands out in front of you. Step back to plank pose. Lower your knees to the ground. Lower your forearms to the ground. And just take a little check that your shoulders are directly underneath. Can't even talk. Your shoulders are directly over top of your elbows. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And then hands flat down on the ground. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up, dolphin pose. So downward dog just on your forearms. And you're really working to press forearms into the ground to send your chest, send your sternum back towards your thighs. Let your head drop. Breathe steady. Keep extending and pressing forearms and elbows into the ground. 1 more round of breath. Nice and easy. Inhale and exhale. Now soften your knees to the ground. Untuck your toes. Sit your bum back on your heels. Fingertips reach behind you. Hug your shoulders back. Take a little puff up through your chest. Option to press your hips away from your heels if you'd like. Inhale deep. And then exhale, big sigh out. Come on back up through center, hands in front of you, downward facing dog.
Left leg rises, inhale breath. Left knee to forehead on your exhale, shoulders over the wrists. Back to three-legged dog, breathe in. Going through again this dancing dog sequence. Left knee to upper left arm, steady and controlled, exhale. Back to your three-legged dog. Left knee pulls over to your upper right arm on your exhale. Three-legged inhale. Now bend that left knee and stack your left hip open on top of the right. So pausing here. Option to mindfully flip around to wild thing pose or stargazer pose, or just stay here. I'm just going to stay here. Really focusing on, again, pressing left knee and shin up towards the ceiling. Now coming around to our pigeon pose, so coming out of wild thing, if you made your way around, we'll pull left shin forwards. Back toes tucked just to kind of scooch your hips back and down. Come up onto fingertips. Easy through your upper body. Pausing in this upright shape for a moment. Shoulders softly hug back. Little puff up through the sternum, up through the chest. And then releasing forwards and down. Take a big sigh if that helps. A nice, heavy, releasing sigh, or even a flutter out through your lips. And you can shimmy your shoulders a little bit if that helps you as well. Make sure your belly can release into the ground. Hips are heavy. Jaw is relaxed. One more breath, a big inhale, and an exhale. And then rise on up. Weight shifts into your left hip, right leg swings around, coming into that seated spinal twist. So right foot to the outside of your left thigh, and get both sitting bones anchored onto the floor. So you're sitting up nice and tall. Right hand tense behind you. Left arm wraps around or hooks to the outside of that right thigh. And you really are working the breath here. Inhale, extend up through the crown of your head. Lengthen your spine as much as you can. Exhale, right shoulder gathers back as you spiral around into the twist. Inhale, lengthen. Grow a little taller. Exhale, spiral. And one more round. Breathe in, lengthen. And exhale, spiral. Come on back through center, release your legs. Feet hip width apart. Arms out in front of you. This time slowly curl back. Low belly gathers in slowly, 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 until just your lower back is touching the ground. Hands will interlace behind your head. And then send your legs straight up towards the ceiling. So really tack your low belly down towards your low spine and press firmly lower back into the mat. Hug in through your inner thighs. Big toe mounds are squeezing in towards each other. Inhale, breath. And then exhale, you can lower your legs a couple inches or a couple feet to make sure that that low back stays really firmly pressed into the ground. And then inhale, draw your legs back up to neutral. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, lower your legs as far as you'd like to. Make sure lower back stays pressed into the ground. Inhale, legs lift back to neutral. Last time, and lower with your exhale. Now pause here to breathe in, and pause to breathe out. And then draw your legs back up to neutral, and now release. Head and shoulders to the ground. Little squeeze of your knees in towards your chest. Good. Place your feet flat to the ground. Hip width apart. Fingertips touch the backs of your heels or as close to that as you can. Nice and parallel with those feet. One bridge pose, of course, if you prefer to add on and do a deeper back bend, that's totally in your hands and up to you. Big breath. And then use your exhale to press into the feet. Roll up through the pelvis. Up, up, up. Keep rolling up through your spine. Hip points pressing straight up to the ceiling. And then if you can, interlace hands underneath you. Take a little shimmy of your shoulders and your arm bones underneath your chest. And we'll just pause here for a few rounds of steady, even, easy breath. Keep your nose pointing straight up to the ceiling to protect your neck. And then as you're ready, release your hands and just slowly roll back down. Mindfully roll back down through your spine. Walk your feet out nice and wide, mat width apart. Arms can be up above your head if you'd like, or somewhere out by your sides. And then just take some nice, big, slow windshield wipers. One knee into the center, and then the other. Do that as many times as you'd like to. And then when you're done, you can take one last hug of your knees into your chest, or maybe a happy baby catching outside edges of your feet with your hands. Let your head get nice and soft into the ground. Maybe a little rock from side to side feels good there. Big sigh again, if that feels good. Big, heavy, releasing sigh. And then let's release. Finding rest, Savasana, or coming up to sit tall if you prefer that. I will demonstrate Savasana. So finding your way into whichever position you'd like to for a moment of stillness, of quietness. Let go of all of your effort. Let go of the weight of your bones, the weight of your muscles. Let go of your thoughts. Let go of anything going on in your life right now. You can pick it up again in a moment. Just for now, give yourself some space. Deep, slow inhales and exhales like waves in the ocean, rising and falling. One more deep breath. If you're lying down, let's softly gather over onto one side. If you're sitting, then you can just stay where you are. Come on up to your seat if you were lying down. Seal your hands together, that gesture of gratitude, of balance, of prayer. Seal in that mini practice, that short practice. Seal in your effort, seal in your intention. One more big breath. And let it all go. Namaste. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for practicing.